Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how you can create a book that beats your competition to help give you more chance of creating a bestseller. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Caroline and I make videos to help you master your mindset and make money online so that you can build a life you love. If you do enjoy watching videos like this, please take a moment to subscribe. It's free, it takes 2 seconds and it means the world to me. And don't forget to click the bell notification so that you do get notified when I upload new videos just like this. Creating good books isn't just about having professional, high quality design covers or really sort of clean, slick interiors. I mean, these are very, very important and you do need to make sure that your books look professional and they look high quality. But sometimes you'll be off doing your niche research and you come across a book that has a really low BSR, probably selling hundreds of copies per month. And when you take a look at it, if you maybe take a look at the interior of the book, you might find it's pretty average and you're left scratching your head wondering what you do wrong. At the end of the day, these books are giving the customer what they want. It's useful, it's beneficial, it helps the customer in some way to do things better or more quickly or more easily. But not every book is perfect and everything can be improved on. And it should be your goal when you create your low content books to create a book that is just as good as, if not better, than what is already available on the Amazon marketplace and actually selling. So how do you do this exactly? That's what I'm going to talk about today. And in this video, I want to go over some of the things that I do when I decide exactly how I'm going to create a book. As in what the interior is going to look like, what types of things the interior is going to contain, what the cover is going to look like, things like that. And guess what? Like usual, all this information can be found on Amazon itself. And personally, I think it is really, really important that you take the time to complete this part of the book creation process. The reasons for this is 1, what you think your customers want and what your customers actually want are usually 2 very different things. 2, you'll waste your time making books that nobody needs or wants. And this will give you the mindset that KDP doesn't work, low content book publishing doesn't work, it's oversaturated, it's a waste of time, it's too hard, etc, etc. And 3, you will make little to no money. So first of all, what I do is I go through as many books as I can in the niche that I want to create a book in, regardless of what the BSR is. I'm not looking at the BSR at the moment, I just want to see what is available on the Amazon marketplace. Just because a book doesn't have a low BSR or a bestseller badge or something like that doesn't mean it's not a good book. I will look at the covers, I will look at the interiors or what I can see of them in the look inside feature of a book. I look at their descriptions, and here I'm basically just getting a feel for what the competition is putting out there. Take note of things like what types of covers are on these books that are selling, especially the ones that are selling well. Are there any similarities to them? Are they using similar colors, similar fonts, or similar images on their covers? What is contained in the interiors? Are there things in their interiors that you had never even thought to add to yours? What kinds of fonts are used inside of these books? What kind of pages do they have? Copyright pages, interior cover pages, introduction or instruction pages? What size are most of the books? How many pages are in them? How well written is their descriptions? And how well does their description sell their book? These are all things that you can try to improve on when you create your book. For example, let's say that we want to create a password logbook. So we basically go to Amazon, search for password logbook, and I would sit and I would go through each of these books and take a look at all those things that I just talked about. I also wouldn't worry if they are sponsored listings because again, I just want to get a feel for what is going on in the niche. At the moment, this isn't about comparing the competition in terms of BSRs or how hard or easy it is going to be to rank in this niche or anything like that. That research should have already been done. This is at the point where you have now decided to go into a niche and you want to create your book. And so now you want to research the books in your niche to see if you can make yours better. That should be the goal for every book that you create. And so we just have a look at everything here. We just take a look at how they've created their title and their subtitle. What have they included in their descriptions? How have they formatted their description in terms of using HTML? We use the look inside feature, which you can do just by clicking on the cover of the book, and we look at how they have created their book. What have they included in their interior? If there's anything in particular that stands out that you like or you don't like, that you want to include in yours, just make note of it. and we can see that it's got 105 pages. It's a 6 by 9 inch book. You can jot those things down if you like, just to keep note of the niche overall and how the books are, because generally you will find a trend in each niche that the books are usually all the same size, have the same amount of pages and things like that. And if you look through this particular niche, you'll probably find that this particular floral type of cover with the curved text is quite common. I'm not going to go through every book now in this video, obviously, but when I'm doing my actual book research, I would sit and go through each one of them. I also would even look at these types of books that aren't paperback, that aren't published by Kindle, because you can still get good ideas. These are really well-selling books, so even though they're not exactly the same in the sense of these are not paperbacks, they're hardbacks with the elastic closure on them, or they're a spiral bound book or something like that, I still like to look at them because I like to see how well their interiors are created, and sometimes there's something in that interior that I think is a really good idea that I want to add to mine. So look through everything, don't just pick out the KDP independently published books, look at everything. Once we have gone through as many books as we can in your niche, you now want to find out, if you can, what your customers actually want. So for this part, you'll probably find it works best to look at the bestsellers in your niche. And I think most of us are creating books that hit the bestseller of a niche, or at least trying to get into those really low BSRs so that you are making a lot of consistent sales. So really for this, you want to look at the books in the spots that you want your books to be in for this. And all we are going to do is head to the reviews section of the sales page. So in general, the books that have the most reviews are the best sellers, and so that's why we'll focus on those books. But feel free to go through books that don't have lots of reviews, it really can't hurt. Let me show you an example. Let's say I'm going to create a food journal or a diet logbook. So I've done a search for food journal and here are the results. Now again, don't shy away from books that are spiral bound or hardback. Just look for the ones that have a lot of reviews like these, because that's where we're going to get our next set of information. So I'm going to have a look at this one. Now this is a sponsored listing, but if you scroll down here, it's also organically listed in the first few listings on this search page in Amazon. It is one of the best sellers in this niche, and it is a KDP printed book. And so here's the first thing that I do. I scroll down to the reviews, and the first thing I want to look at is any images that have been uploaded by the customer. I want to see what this actual book looks like in real life. Sometimes the interior in the look inside feature on Amazon can look really different on screen to what actually prints out. Also, if you have never looked at the look inside feature, it only shows you a small portion of the book, and you don't really get to choose what pages that you actually get to look at. So in this look inside feature, I get to see one page really of the interior. Sometimes there is the option here to look at different parts of the book, but in this example, it's not allowing me to do that. So in that case, I only got to see literally one page of the inside of the book. The other pages were the copyright page and a cover page. So I use these images to see what the actual book looks like. And when you look at the customer's photos, hopefully you'll get a chance to see more pages of the interior of the book that we didn't get to see in the look inside feature. So all I do is I literally sit and I go through them all and I have a look. And not only do you get to see the interior itself, you get to see how the customers are actually using this particular book. If you ever see this and it is a KDP book, it's an independently published book. What people do a lot of the time with logbooks or journals and things like this, they actually take the book to a printer and they get the printer to remove it from its binding and they have it made into a spiral book. So don't look at that and think that this isn't printed by KDP. It was, that as they say here, they've just taken it to Office Max and had it spiral bound. And I do see that quite a lot in this type of niche. When people are using a book on the daily, like a journal where they're filling it out every day. And again, if I see anything interesting, anything that I think I would want to include in my book, I just make notes of it. And at the end of this research phase, I just have a look at everything I've written down and decide what it is that I'm going to include or not include in my book. I would sit and go through all the photographs and see what customers are uploading about this particular book. I've made notes on what I think are important about the book or things I can do differently. So now I want to actually read the reviews. This part of the sales page is just absolute gold for creators like us. There is no better way to make a book that is going to sell than by making it tailored to what the customers actually want. Let's go through and read the reviews. I'll generally just go straight down here, see all reviews. I want to read as many as I can. You want to read the good and the bad. Obviously, with a book like this, there is thousands and thousands of reviews. You probably can't read them all. If you have the time, go ahead. But if you don't have the time to sit and read thousands of them, go through a good chunk until you get a really, really good idea of what the customers feel about this book. If there are thousands of reviews, spend some time reading the good ones as well, because sometimes people will have some criticisms of a book, even when they give it 5 stars or 4 stars, but really focus your attention on the 1, 2, and 3 stars. That's where you'll find the gold, where you'll find what's going to make your book different. I also sort by most recent, and I literally just sit and read them. So this person did not like it. They say you can just go to the dollar store and get a nice notebook of exactly the same quality. This one, book is stained and missing page 2. Nothing the author can do about that. That's Amazon. That one loved it, and they uploaded lots of photos. It just sort of describes what the book does for her. This one's saying, so this is a 3-star review. Too much space for snacks, not enough for meals, makes writing in the columns messy. They loved it. They loved it. Good resource. Didn't use it much, so not really anything about the book itself. They just didn't use it. Again, this person just didn't really keep up with it, so maybe it's not the book itself. These people loved it. These people thought they were getting a tape measure, so they were disappointed. This person loved it. I think they put a review on the wrong product there. These people loved it. These people loved it, loved it, loved it. So I would sit and go through them sort of in order like that, just to see what the most current reviews are, especially on a book that has been going for a year or two, because you know, sometimes a book can go out of date or information in it can expire and need to be updated. So it's interesting to see what people think of it now as opposed to what they thought of it when the book was first released. And then we want to go look at, first of all, the 1-star reviews. So those first few we already saw. Okay, this one gave a 1-star review because it was wrinkled and the pages were printed upside down. So that's Amazon's error. Not much we can do about that. Printed incorrect. Not much we can do about that. You will find that you get reviews like this. Unfortunately, it's not your fault. There's nothing you can do about it. It's the Amazon printers. And I do see a lot of comments from both customers and publishers that books are printed wrong. I don't think KDP is the best book printer out there, but unfortunately that's just what's going to happen, and you will get reviews, bad reviews, for something that's Amazon's mistake. There's nothing you can do about it. The customer doesn't know that you didn't print the book and all that sort of stuff. So unfortunately, that's just part and parcel of printing books with KDP. Now this one bought a journal thinking it was a book. Again, arrived bent and damaged, bent out of shape, again, bent and damaged. This one was okay. Okay, again, pages printed wrong. They just don't like it. Not very helpful on why they don't like it, but they're not really obligated to explain. This person says they wanted it to be great, but the book is literally the same page 100 times, nothing extra, nothing exciting. So this is where you want to make it clear in your description what the book is, because if this particular customer got the same look inside that we did, they really have no clue what the book is actually like, because the look inside didn't even really show them anything, and so then they've received it, they're disappointed because they didn't realize it's just the same page every single day. That's where your description will come in, and you need to make sure you are clear with your description to avoid reviews like that. This one doesn't like the setup. Not sure how we could make it better, but that's what that customer thought. Too simplistic and repetitive. Again, that could be an issue due to the fact they can't see much in the look inside feature. Boring, not what I expected, not a lot of room. So we saw a review earlier where someone wrote something about not being much room for writing. So just, we would keep that in mind. Again, 100 pages of nothing, but very basic, poor quality, amateurish design, faulty product, flimsy item, has very basic bits to fill in on what you've eaten, calories, etc. Very boring. Okay, so that's all the 1-star reviews. Then we go through to 2-star reviews. So those couple we already saw. Cover is sticky. again, not author fault. Came torn, again, not author fault. Damaged. This person just can't be bothered filling out the book every day. So on one hand, that's just the customer not finding the book interesting, but could the book be more interesting to make these particular people want to actually use it? That's quite a few people now who have said that they just didn't want to fill it out. And so maybe that's to do with the book design and the fact that it is maybe too simple for some people. That's a way that you could look at trying to make your interior a little bit more concise or a little bit more interesting in a way, add more features to it. So this one says there are only 2 weight measurement update pages, one at the start for day 1 and one at the end for day 90. I would like to check on my progress more often than 90 days. So that's very interesting. We would definitely note that down. There are space for recording your daily habits, however, no space to track your progress. Again, I think that's wrong. A wrong product review. This one's just commenting on the quality of the book. Again, nothing that we can do about that. But they have also mentioned you can only input your measurements and weight at the start and the end, so they don't like that feature as well. This person said it's too big and they can't carry it around, same page printed over and over. All right, so that's the 2s. Then we go through the 3s. Okay, so there's that person saying there was too much space to write about snacks, not enough for meals. This person's saying they wish it lasted longer than 90 days, so that's an option, creating a food journal that goes for more than 90 days. It was okay, but wasn't what I was expecting. They should show how they are in the inside pages. So I do feel quite a lot of these recent reviews where people are getting not what they're expecting is to do with that inside pages feature, which unfortunately there's not a whole lot you can do about that part of it. But that's where you need to use your description, like I say, to make it really clear what the book is. So this person also says the categories weren't helpful. There is a whole bunch of lines for snacks. Who's going to eat that many snacks? It doesn't make use of the space very well. So that's another person talking about the space to write about food. So another review talking about how sort of simple and basic this book is. This person's saying they would like to have some sort of guide of how much water, activity and sleep that you should be having so you can compare what your habits are. Someone else saying disappointed that there are only 2 places to put your progress weight in, at the beginning and the end. It's someone else asking for somewhere to do weekly goals and measurements. Another page to document your size and weight. So that is a big thing of all these 1, 2 and 3-star reviews. People want more place to put their progress check-ins. So if you're creating this kind of food journal, you would definitely want to put progress check-ins. I would probably do it weekly. You could do it every fortnight or maybe every month. It is a 3-month journal, but personally, I would probably do it weekly. I think most people want to check their progress in terms of losing weight more often than every 3 months. They want to do it every week so that they're motivated when they see that they are getting closer to their goal. That is one thing now that you know that you can put in this interior to make your book better than this one. This person's talking about it only being for females. So maybe there is an option to make it for men and women, or make a separate one for men. This one would have liked some variety in the pages, more weigh-ins. Again, no pages for weekly or either monthly weigh-ins. That's a massive thing that people are complaining about. Another comment about the progress check-ins. This person's saying it would be nice to have the amount of calories number that you should intake for the day. So someone else asking for something like a guide on what you should be doing. Someone else saying not a lot of room to write exercise or meals. That is something else I would definitely look at doing differently in my interior. That's multiple people who have commented on the fact that there's too much space to write about snacks and not enough space to write about actual meals. So that is something I would definitely look at doing differently if I was creating this particular book as well. Like I say, in the real world where I'm doing an actual book, I would spend a lot of time going through as many of these reviews as I can, reading as much as I can from what the customers are saying, because that is just so important. And it is really that simple. It is quite a time intensive task, but it is so important. And you might find you'll actually be really surprised at what customers are saying about the books they buy. If there are multiple books in your niche with a lot of reviews, Go through them all and see what is being said. I really don't think that you can spend too much time on this particular task, and use this feedback from the customers and apply it to the book that you are going to create. Not only will you create a book that is different from all of the others that are available for sale, giving your book a point of difference, a way to stand out, but you'll also be adding things to your book that the customers are actually asking for and saying that they need. I really do want to help you create the best books that you can, not just so that you can make money, but also so that you can give your customers something that they are actually going to enjoy and actually get benefit from when they buy from you. So I really hope that you do add this step into your book creation process, and that by adding this step, it will help you create books that are just steps above the books that are already available in your niche. If you do think this video has been helpful and you would like me to keep making videos like this, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on any more videos that I make and upload, then don't forget to subscribe.